Morning, everybody. Welcome to this edition of the weekend wrap-up show, the news that matters here on Shelbyville Now. I'm David Thomas, Mr. Josh Blevins sitting there, and special guest, Commissioner Bill Anderson. You stood around, you hung around after the sports show and didn't want to get out of your chair.
No, I've got the soft chair around here. This is the Bill Anderson chair.
Yeah. Well, we got some stuff that we would like to get your input on, of course.
Let's do it.
Yeah. But before we dive into what all's happened this past week, we're going to take a break from our sponsor, Dennis Young Insurance and Leverett Power Washing. We'll be right back.
Get the results you want with the personalized service you deserve at Dennis Young Insurance Agency.
As a local independent agency, we offer coverage from several different companies, including Erie. So whether it's auto, home, life, personal, or business, we can find the right coverage to meet your unique insurance needs. And with a rate lock advantage, your rates won't go up as long as you do not change drivers, autos, or addresses. Contact us at Dennis Young Insurance Agency, insuring Shelbyville and surrounding areas since 1988.
Welcome back into the weekend wrap up here on Shelbyville Now. Josh, you've got a lot of stuff to talk about this morning. Get us filled in. I want you to jump in head first.
It was a full week of meetings this week. I started off Monday morning, 9 o'clock. We had the city pre-planning meeting. This was the meeting that happens every month before the planning meeting to discuss what's going on in
what time of day is that, Josh?
9 a.m.
That's great for the the public. Congratulations.
It is actually not a public meeting.
Public.
This is not a public
meeting.
Even
better.
Yeah, well, this is the
not putting that on YouTube, are you?
No, this one is not on YouTube. This is city staff.
Any cigar smoke in there, anything like that?
No cigar smoke. No cigar smoke. There was coffee. There was coffee and pastries this time. So coffee and pastries. It was actually a light agenda. We had 7 whole items on there. I'll run down a couple of them just real quick. We've got 4 lots on Dover Street. We're going to have a developer coming in and ask to put 4 duplexes instead of houses.
Really need that. No.
Bill's quick on the no on that.
All right, let's talk about this area.
Yeah.
This area over the last few years has had several little projects like this pop up, and then some big ones too.
Right. It's changed completely in the last, 3 years, probably. Yeah. It used to all be just single family homes on a lot. And you've got a ton of duplex and apartments in there.
Okay, now. I know that there's some been back there for sale and for rent that are still vacant. Are these filling in pretty good now? I just noticed that
these ones are pretty full on Dover, as far as I know. Now, Green Lane, you've got a lot of stuff I know that's open right now. And we've got some other townhome developments that are open, but these ones, from what I've seen over there, there's not a lot of for rent or for sale signs. So
okay, and this will add when we were talking about Remington Farms and the traffic study that was going to have to be done there.
Right.
This contributes to that traffic problem.
It does, although Dover feeds in.
It can go back to
what is it? Lane Parkway there.
Yeah,
so it won't feed into Union
unless you decide to take a left coming toward town and going and hitting that traffic. Most people have sense enough to know.
You'd be smart enough not to do that.
But it's still in that area.
It's in that side of town, though, for sure.
We need more cars and more people. There you go.
More. Well, that's nothing compared to the next one. It's one that I did. I was a no vote on this, but got overridden at the council. This is going to be 44 apartments right next door to Bedford Manor. So we're aware that Bedford Manor is probably our highest volume of first responder calls in town here. Definitely police department spends a lot of time.
Let's add to it and get some more of it.
So we're going to
that's real smart. That's growing, baby.
We're adding 44 apartments there. We're looking at a lot combination on West Jackson Street. There's 14 acres that backs up to the river that they want to combine into a single lot. And then Green Lane, it's another phase. It's actually, I believe, the first phase of a new development on Green Lane, 27 houses and 40 townhomes. This wraps around behind. There's a church and there's like a U-Haul rental place there on Green Lane. This kind of wraps around behind it. So this one is a already a done deal. They're just approving the construction plans. So that's kind of what's coming. These will all be on the December planning meeting for the city.
Yeah.
So
These areas like this, I call them sneaky developments. You look up and they just are there all of a sudden, even though we know about them, they're coming. And all of a sudden you don't think a house would be, or a group of homes would be put there. And all of a sudden there they are.
yeah. I mean, it's what's technically called infill. Yeah. It's land that's sat there undeveloped for a lot of years, usually with good reason, because it's got rock or stormwater issues or,
water
other
doesn't flow
reasons.
correctly from it.
Yeah. And then you get down to where you need some land and then a developer picks it up and next thing you know, you got a house on it.
Sinkholes.
There may be sinkholes. I don't know.
I'm just
I don't know
saying,
this
we've done it
property,
other
but
places.
It's possible. It's possible. So,
All right. So Josh, this is of course, it's going to be an ongoing thing.
Oh, yeah.
As long as people are flooding this area of the country,
as long as
we're
people
going to
keep
have.
coming.
I'm just wondering. Okay.
How about a nice subdivision? When is the last really nice subdivision built in this town?
There's a decently nice one on the books that's approved behind Piggly Wiggly, but they have not started construction. So yeah,
Because
yeah,
all this
of the
multi-dwelling
market.
thing
Yeah.
in apartments is what you need to get away from.
Yeah, well, what you
You
get
just
with
do.
this, these are rental units, so you get a transient population. Nobody's going to move into a rental duplex and live there for 20 years. They're going to be in there 2 years. They're going to be in there 3 years, and then they're going to get a better price in Tullahoma and move to Tullahoma. They're going to get a job in Manchester, move to Manchester. So these aren't people with roots that are going
My
to stay in
question,
the
if
city.
we peel the onion back, is there's a way that these people are making money on these things sitting empty, to David Thomas's point. And I'm afraid what's happening is you sell what you can, you rent what you can. Then when you can't, you're applying for some federal program that's helping pay the people's rent. And it's kind of Section 8 without calling it Section 8. I'm afraid that's where we're at.
That is possible. We're not allowed to discriminate on who gets the units and how they pay for it. So all we can approve is
Does
whether
it
or not
make
they get
sense?
them.
Does
So-
it make sense to have development at this location? You got to look at what's
right?
there.
And that's why I voted this particular one, the 44 apartments. I mean, I yelled up and down as loud as I could.
Oh,
at
yeah.
council. I mean, I all but stood up in my chair and said, "This is a bad idea."
There was more talk about a barrier, a fence,
the fence for the
privacy
neighbors
fence
than there was.
than
the
there
fact
was
that
about
we're
the fact
putting
that you're like
44 apartments
Yeah.
in a bad area to
Yeah.
and not helping the situation.
Well, I thought
So-
this 44 was reduced down into the 30s at one point, and it was talked about there, but it's always stayed at 44.
It's all well. It's however many they can cram, and 44 was the number they got. So yeah, so that's where
So
we're
this
at.
is going to be happening at your pre-planning meeting. Now, how far along did this get? And I thought this was voted on and turned down. Or
no,
was
this
it-
got approved. Yeah, this got approved. It was a
Okay, so-
rezoning when we voted on
the
it.
zone.
council.
All right, so
Yeah.
now you're going to be actually looking at
the site plan
site plan.
and making sure they meet standards as far as access for emergency
Okay.
vehicles and fire standards
You
and
may have a lot of them
green
coming there.
space.
So
They
you better make sure it's right.
make sure they got room. So
Place
yeah.
will be there every other day.
Yeah. Right after this meeting, we had another meeting. This is the growth committee. This is the one that's actually supposed to be looking at growth in the city and trying to come up with some ideas. This meeting was about the bypass. So the city planning department is looking at putting some additional rules on the bypass in regards to signs. They don't want the bypass to get filled up with billboards and make it look like a, interstate just driving through town. So billboards, they're going to try to work on that. Setbacks and stuff like access points, very few access points.
Okay.
Try to have some kind of a green buffer along it so it doesn't look like you're driving.
Teacher, I have a question.
Yes,
Okay.
Yeah.
So what about the billboards up and down North Main Street?
those are there. So
Well, they keep
yeah.
building them.
They
keep
do.
popping up.
And there's actually, I'll tell you, there was one that was turned down by the BZA last month, and they are coming, the exact same applicant coming right back to the BZA. I think it's this week to ask again, say, hey, can we ask one more time and see if you'll say yes this time? So there are rules
honestly,
about that as far as spacing,
Yeah.
like 600 feet, and this one doesn't meet the rule, and they're asking for an exemption.
I personally
So,
do not have a problem with a billboard, but if you got 20 lined up back to back to back to back, it's an issue. I don't have a problem.
It doesn't
with
look good.
No,
And that's why
it's-
your nicer communities don't have them.
yeah, if you drive through Franklin Brentwood, you don't see billboards running down.
No, you don't even see signs on business.
And I do wonder
Yeah.
about the video billboard that I don't want you texting on your phone when you're driving. Well, maybe you shouldn't be looking at that video board while you're driving either. And that's a safety issue there to me.
Right.
Because, if
Could
you're
be,
up there reading it while you're driving, that's not a good thing.
But as far as the bypass, we are looking at higher standards on the bypass to try to keep it looking nice and not
Okay.
have a bunch of driveways.
All right.
coming
So
onto it.
do you feel like, Josh, and you've been in these conversations that we had, are we going to see more residential around the bypass than we are any type of businesses?
No, the goal is to not do residential on the
Good.
bypass. We did allow a single developer access for an apartment complex on a handshake promise that he was going to put in a nice development with,
But
a
that's on
pool and a
closer
clubhouse.
to 230,
and
close to 231.
it's right between 231 and Fairfield
Right.
Pike. So
Yeah.
a single one. But beyond that,
Good
the
luck
goal
with that handshake.
is
Good luck.
the goal is commercial along that stretch because we don't need a bunch
Okay.
of traffic coming in and out of there as far as residential.
We're going to possibly have some industrial development through that area, hopefully down the road.
Hopefully not industrial, hopefully commercial.
Okay.
Yeah,
So-
preferably commercial.
Right.
Yeah.
Commercial would be good.
Yeah. So like big box store kind of stuff. I mean, we need a gas station up in that area for sure somewhere.
Oh yeah, we don't have
Yeah.
enough of those.
Yeah. Well, we don't have any in
saying.
that. We don't have any. in
Well,
that
at the
particular part
corner
town,
of
so-
Fairfield Pike and the bypass, I've always said, well, that would be a good spot for a gas station.
Oh, they do a ton
convenience
of
store.
business
Right,
because so
they
many
would.
people drive through there, and next nearest.
And I'm
gas
sure
station's on
somebody will do it.
231. Oh,
Somebody
I
will
think
do it.
eventually, that's going to happen.
But the
So-
purpose of a bypass, I've said it before, was to bypass traffic.
Right. To get it around to town, keep it out of the center of town.
Right. And by keeping the commercial with limited access, that helps. You're not
Yep.
going to allow each business to have a separate driveway onto the
Right.
bypass. You'll have an access road that comes off either
Right.
the bypass or Fairfield Pike that takes you back to those businesses. You won't be pulling in and out of a bunch of driveways.
Just for the record, and this goes back some years. At one time long ago, we cut in a bypass called Colorado Boulevard
Right.
to not create, but
Right.
we outran it before it got finished. It was going to be so you could cut across and go over to 41A from 231. It's going to
Right.
bypass some traffic from the main intersection.
Yeah.
Woo!
Yeah. And then they filled it up with stores. and- yeah. So that's how that goes. Build it and then they'll build some more.
Yeah, exactly.
So, all right. So that was it for Monday with the city. So we're about to get to why Mr. Anderson is here. Tuesday, we had a county commission meeting. And I'd say probably the best way to introduce this, let's just go ahead and start with our clip of Miss Diane Neely speaking on the floor of this meeting. This was a discussion of bringing in a distributed wastewater advisory committee, I believe is that's pretty close to the final, what we ended up with. So let's hear what Miss Diane had to say. And then
State will not increase their regulations is because of all the pushback from developers and those people who have a vested interest. I see that happening here. Everybody wants to do their own thing. Everybody wants to serve their own interest. It is our job to protect our community. The one thing overwhelmingly that I continue to hear from people from across every district, we are growing too fast. We do not have the infrastructure for what is coming here. It's hodgepodge and along. We're not ready. And the only way we're going to be ready is for us to have the guts to stand up and to start saying no and to start making our rules, and everybody plays by the same rules. And I don't see us doing that. I really don't. And it's hard to look at those people who are your friends, your family, your business connections, and all of those, and get sucked in to everything that's going on.
Wow.
she said a lot. Let me try to set this up. Bill and I are actually slightly on different sides of this. I agree with the concept of the committee and think we definitely need the committee. I just don't like the process we went through to get there. So what happened real quick in the meeting was there was on the agenda setting up this committee, and then also they already had the slate, the 7 members that had been recommended for the committee. What I wasn't a fan of was this committee, as it made it to the agenda, didn't end up coming with a set of goals and objectives or qualifications. It was just kind of, this is a wastewater. First we called a board, then we called it a committee, but it didn't have, we didn't give them, 5 bullet points would have been great. Anything. There was nothing other than we're going to have a committee. And then the other point that Diane, and actually, if you watch the meeting, I believe nine people voted to just push this back a month to try to get a little more organized. The other point was the 7 people that were brought forward were only brought forward with 24 hours notice. You can't even put an agenda out without 10 days notice, yet you had to vote on a group of people with 24 hours notice. I felt like they should have given more notice, even if it meant a special meeting a week down the road or something like that. Now back to the concept, and like Diane was saying, we needed this 6 months ago. We probably needed this a year ago. We may have needed this 2 years ago.
Let's go back to April, March or April, when I had a bill that was going to basically deny step systems.
Right.
That's where I was on it because of the issues.
Right.
Okay. I didn't have a whole lot of support on that one. But all I heard in that meeting was Consolidated's right up the road. Do y'all remember this?
Oh, yeah.
There's a video. You can go watch it.
Yeah.
They're right up the road. Why would we not use the best system in the state of... I felt a little better about using Consolidated. Come to find out, Anita Epson, fellow commissioner, and the Rules Committee asked the Planning Commission to come up with these guidelines and rules and work a deal out with Consolidated. I thought that's what we were doing, right?
Right. And nothing happened for 6 months.
They didn't do anything.
That's the
Then
rub.
Longview comes back up again. And now all of a sudden you've got a company, Adenis is their name, correct?
Oh, yeah.
That has the failures in Wilson County, Mount Juliet, and I have been alerted in Manchester. There is a new one of theirs with 284 homes that's failed.
Yeah.
And we have allowed them here because the state standards are too low.
Correct. Yeah. And we definitely
And
agree
all
on
we
that.
can do
Yeah.
now without doing something and raising the standards is go by the state standard.
Which is, and the
It's-
state guy
it's
himself
terrible.
told us it was
It was
terrible.
too low.
Yeah. It's
Right.
bad.
Had to form more of this.
Right.
We need a deal with Consolidated, a company like it that's reputable. We need to get away from the sand systems. And that was why we can get back to why the people on the committee, how it was done.
Right.
About 3 or 4 of them, Bill Anderson gave. I'm going to defend the mayor on this one. I'm the one that gave them to him. I also had 3 that I gave him that turned us down. So when we were trying to form this, and I worked with the mayor on this one, they were turning us down. So when we get turned down by people that we'd like to have seen on there, and I don't blame the people for turning us down.
Yeah. It's hard to get people to volunteer on these. They're literally a volunteer committee. They're not getting a dime. So
But you
they're
got
gonna
your
give
soul
up their
guy
own
on here, and
time.
anybody
Yeah.
out there that didn't like the fact Denny Hastings was put on there, I'm the one that did it. He's a friend of mine. He's got wealth of knowledge. He's a friend of David Thomas's. That doesn't matter, but he's built a lot of stuff. He's been around this stuff. He's very knowledgeable of the ones that work and don't work. And I told Denny, we want a higher, the whole goal of this is to have a standard higher than the states.
I think the one big question, it goes back to this wastewater authority.
Mhm.
There was a lot of people confused that we were going down that same path again when
Right.
we said it's
Right.
a board
Yeah. It's
that will
definitely
come
not.
up with guidelines. Now, this is a 1-year plan.
That's
the way
it.
I understand
1
it.
year.
1
Right.
year. Everybody voted that at the end of the year, we'll review it, see where
Right.
it's at. Hopefully by then we will have those guidelines and rules in place about what can and cannot be done. Now, this has been brought up. Different areas of the county are going to have different situations for step systems. So there has to be somebody making decisions. And then that's where you get into the pick and choose part that just could be a political situation.
Yeah, and that was as far as the makeup of the committee, which again, we only had 24 hours to look at them. But the 3 that are already in there, I didn't really have any major issue with them. It was more the fact that we built a committee of 7 with the majority of the people on the committee are already in the process. So we're now basically, we could just call this a subcommittee of planning commission, and we're sending recommendations to ourselves at that point. So those 4 people are already, 2 of them are already on the planning commission, 2 of them are already on the county commission. So they're just telling themselves what to do. I wish we could, and you're right, it's hard to find people, but I wish we could have found 5 people that are in the business in some way, shape.
So
or
I
form.
have a big question, and I'm going to ask on behalf out here. And then we've got a lot of comments coming, and we've got some new first-time watchers here.
Yeah.
I'm going to ask as just a citizen. So what happens next? So what's going to happen with this committee?
Right.
Are they going to meet right away and start coming up with some guidelines? And if so, where will they get their source? I mean, I know Sammy Coates has got resources as far as soil, and I know Denny's got resources as far as soil. Are we going to count on those 2 to come up and maybe get somebody from one of the companies to come and say,
Yes,
well,
I
this
would
is your
assume, yes.
situation. I just
Hopefully it's
wonder what's going to
consolidated.
happen.
Yeah, now I will say, as far as what I officially know is happening, Mr. Gill is presenting to the Planning Commission, County Planning Commission, the Tuesday of Thanksgiving week at 7:00.
Right.
Just kind of he's the chairman. He's going to present his vision of it. That was another thing that I wish they would have had another month. We left this meeting not knowing, is this committee going to meet monthly? Or are they going to meet quarterly? Or are they going to meet on Tuesday? I mean, none of that is set up yet. So it's going to be kind of, as they go along, they're going to have to,
If you did
fly by the
notice,
seat of
we
their
did
pants.
ask the
Yeah.
planning commission to start being put on YouTube.
Yeah, they did.
Oh, yeah,
And
yeah,
I
yeah,
hope,
yeah.
I hope that happens.
I hope it does too, and that
Yeah.
get more people involved. Let's go
They
back to
can
the
actually
24 hours
watch.
notice.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, the mayor was correct. When we did all that rule stuff,
Mm.
that's the way it reads. That's on us for not catching it.
Right. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
mean,
There is no rule
unfortunately,
about the 10
He
days.
didn't have to give us any notice.
No, yeah, to be clear, the 10 days
Because that's the
is
way we wrote the
required
rules.
in the bylaws for the agenda and the
Right.
agenda items, but as far as what's
But
inside those
my
items,
point is,
yeah.
and I kept hearing it was a good old boy committee. It's not a good old boy committee when I'm the one that gave the mayor half the names.
Yeah, you look at just,
And I'm not, I'm not saying that this was not a good old boy thing. Now, some of it may not be perfect, but the point is, it has no power. It cost us no money.
it changed when it went from a board to a committee.
It's not. When everyone thought it was this water authority. It's
Right.
not a water authority. It
Yeah.
doesn't have anything to do with BCUD.
Right.
This has nothing to do with nothing but step septic systems, and all they're going to do is make a recommendation. Hopefully, get the best information available. Come together and take that standard
Okay.
again. The goal is to make it higher than the states.
Okay, so here's my question, and this is something that Steve Jordan brings up. He was there and he made, I think he made a presentation
No.
for public speaking. He says, everyone thinks this isn't the back door to a wastewater authority and a back door to step systems. You're wrong. Well, step systems
Are here.
Are here.
That's the
All
point.
right, that's
they're
the whole
here.
point. That we've got to do something to regulate those.
I'm the one that tried to stop them. I had a bill, and now that we didn't do that, now we've got to deal with where we're at.
Okay, so could this committee recommend to the planning commission? That's the process in it. Go
Right.
to
Yeah.
to the planning commission that we do not allow step systems in Bedford County going forward. That those started or
That could- that's not
grandfathered
gonna
in,
happen. I
but
think
it's
we're
not
already
going to
on top-
happen.
we're already
Yeah,
over
it's
with.
not.
Yeah,
It's
But
not
what
going
do
to
we-
happen.
that's not allowed. Yeah,
All right,
they can
so
set a
what
higher
happens?
standard, but they cannot.
Right.
Yeah, they
So
can't
step
turn it down.
systems are here.
Yeah.
Okay. Now this wastewater authority that gets into a can of worms that brings out the private act situation, and
Yeah,
that has
no-
nothing
no,
to do with
nothing to do with
it.
this.
So it can't be backdoored.
No,
It can't
It
turn
cannot.
into that
No.
without the commission's full vote.
agreed.
No, now the other big question, and this was the back and forth between Diane and Linda Yaki on the floor, and this was never answered and wasn't even in the motion. Will this committee just set up the rules and standards, which is what Diane was
Right.
hoping for, or will this committee be an ongoing thing? And every month, are they going to look at the plats from the developers?
No,
one
That's
at a
what
time?
codes does.
No, they
Yeah.
will not. And I don't know if that wasn't made clear. That is not what the committee's going to do. It's going to make a recommendation to the planning commission to do that.
Well, but are they going to look at the individual developments and make a recommendation? See, Linda wants them to look at every step system as it comes in, review the plat, then make a recommendation. Diane's side of it, and this is two, I don't know that one's right or wrong. Diane's side of it is she wants the planning commission to be the only one looking at the plat. She just wants this committee to set the
The rules,
standards.
yes.
That's
And-
what
and
my
That's
hope
what
is.
that's what
my
I
hope
thought this
is.
was.
That's what I thought it was.
Yeah, that's what I
Yeah.
thought it was.
So
I love
think-
what Diane said too, by
Yeah.
the way.
Yeah.
I agreed with her on everything.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
But let me say this about step systems again. If your land's rocky, you got hackberry trees and you got cedars, it's probably best to stay away from step systems. It all goes back to perking and not just the perk part of the sewer. It's how does water flow from your property? How does it absorb into the ground?
Yeah.
And you start building on rock and putting these things on there, there's a flooding issue you're creating. Then you're creating an issue for somebody next door. You're flooding their property, or it's taking the sewage, if it fails, onto that guy's property.
Okay, they want us
Right.
to define. Somebody wants us to define a step system. It's a decentralized sewer system,
Right.
And it's more complex than a septic, individual septic.
It's
Yeah.
basically tying
multi-homes.
multi-homes to one system.
You're right.
Right. Yeah. None of us here are experts on
No.
this, but we saw the presentation when the state did it. It goes to a holding tank. There's a little bit of processing that happens in the holding tank, and then basically you've got a
Field
series
lines,
of pipes,
massive.
of lines that run out
Yeah.
into the dirt, and literally the water drips out into the dirt. And you have to have enough soil that's good enough to
Right.
absorb that either into the soil or also up into the air. So
And the
But-
company that's being used at Longview
Yeah.
is in lawsuits and failures, multiples.
Right. And a lot of that has to do with their failure to come back and maintain
Right.
these after they're
Do the
installed. These are fairly maintenance intensive. You have to come back and look
Right.
at them every quarter.
Let's
maybe every
clarify
half
the
a year.
cost of a step system. Now, there's a lot of folks out here that think somehow the taxpayer's on the hook for this. And I've
Right.
talked to multiple lawyers. It's the HOA and it's the builder.
Right.
So when you buy one of these houses, you're going to be the one paying the fee. Just know you're going to be paying that company. It's
Right.
almost like
the
having a
homeowners
super
is going
homeowner.
to be on
Yeah,
the
the
hook.
homeowner. And
So-
that's who's on the hook with these failed ones in Wilson County. It's the HOAs that are suing because they're the ones on the hook to
So a
fix
couple
these
people
things,
from the
so.
city, other people that I know at the city had reached out to me and said, just make sure that you're not setting yourself up for legal liability with this. And absolutely we're not.
Right. You don't want to accidentally end up with a
This
public
is why you
utility
didn't
system.
want a public
Yeah.
authority because then you were running the risk of, hey, we're on the hook for it.
Yeah.
In this case, we're not. That's
Right.
every lawyer I talked to told me that.
So I don't know where we're at is the committee's there. We don't even know when they're gonna meet, but they'll have to do public notices. They got two commissioners, two planning committee
All right.
meetings.
Steve Jordan
members,
poses a question.
Yeah.
How many commissioners voted against the wastewater authority back when we
way
did it?
back
13 or 12. It was
12 or 13.
12 or 13.
Right. And I think those people would still stand on that vote.
Absolutely.
So I don't think people are afraid of this eminent domain. Has nothing to do with
Nothing
this
to do- no,
committee
no, there's no
or this
no, no.
board. That would be a private act where there actually was a wastewater authority, and then there would be legal battles for that. But that has nothing to do with where we're at today. This is more or less get some regulations on the book that raises our
We've
standards.
got to do that. If we don't rise up right now, the state standards all you got, and they can just go on with it. We've got to do better than that.
All right, I want to ask you, Bill, what do you think about the meeting itself that took place,
Mhm.
the process that it went through,
Mhm.
the ability for there to be some conversation there? This is something we don't see very often on the commission floor. How do you feel like that went?
At times, I felt like this one's for this one, this one's with this one, so I'm going to be on the other side of it. I mean, to a degree on some of it. And that's just the feeling I got.
Right.
And I thought there was a little grandstanding on both sides. I'm not the guy that stands up there and gives these long speeches, and that's not me. But I think sometimes we're grandstanding in some cases, and it happens. We've seen it happen. But you're sitting here, to me, we all knew how we were going to vote and didn't have to go through 35 minutes of basically repeating the same old stuff. And I love what Diane Neely said. I thought it was awesome. I thought
Yeah.
it was great. But
She brings up some valid points
Right.
there, and but anyway,
and I do think that Linda probably meant to say things differently than she said it at times, probably. But yeah, well, anytime we've got debate, it's a good thing. Commissioner Farah had some issues with a couple of them because he didn't know them. Well, there's
Right.
a couple in there. I don't know who they are either.
Yeah, and again, that goes back to the 24-hour thing. After the meeting, I had a couple of commissioners come up to me and say, that guy over there, is that one of the, I'm like, I don't even know. I don't know
But
each
like
of these.
John
yeah,
Boutwell, for example, I was
individuals,
the
so,
one that submitted that name, Mr. Boutwell. You won't find a fair guy that kind of rides the line on stuff. He's either way, but he's a very level-headed. And
Oh
he'll
yeah,
do the job on
again,
there.
both commissioners, yeah,
I
are
find
great.
with Keith Davis being on
Keith
there.
and John are, they're great
Now,
people. It's just the
in
fact that they're
theory-
reporting to themselves.
theory,
yeah,
Probably Drew Hooker would have been because he did head up the task force.
Diane
Yeah.
came on and said, I did not grandstand. Well, we
No,
played
no,
it,
I'm not
and that
saying
was not a
no,
grandstand.
not at all. That's not what
The
I'm speaking of.
grandstand is when somebody sets up and doesn't have a point to their
Or you're directing it at somebody
yeah,
else.
yeah.
No grandstanding by Diane Neal. That is not what I'm
No,
saying.
no, it was
On some other sides, there might have been a little bit of it.
Yeah, could have been. All right.
Diane did a great.
Well,
job.
we got our
Ours did a
committee.
great job. I agree with everything Diane said.
All right, so we got our committee,
We have a
and
committee.
we're going to wait and see how this unfolds,
Mhm.
and we'll just
Right.
watch things.
And if you don't like it in a year, we're not out anything. At least we're doing something to get the standard higher. That's what got me on it. It's
Yeah.
just a year. It's not permanent.
Yeah.
If we don't like it, vote them out.
all right, so we got
Or just don't have it anymore.
the ball is in motion, that it's rolling. So we'll see how it plays
Well,
out.
the point I'm making is we go back to when I tried to stop the step systems and I kept hearing the consolidate. I'm going to keep harping on that. Did you not leave that meeting thinking that? We already had a deal. That was the inference that Anita walked out of there with. I left out of there with. Commissioner Farrell thought that we had it all worked out, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
6 months later, we don't. Now you got Adinas out here and you got Longview in.
Well,
We don't need another one.
I thought the ball was at least rolling at that point, and it seemed to pretty much.
So at least this
sit
maybe
for
gets
6
the ball
months.
rolling in that direction that we should have been rolling in 6 months ago.
Yeah,
All right.
we're behind the curve on all this.
We're behind the curve.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're definitely behind on it.
All right,
So,
let's move on, and that's going to be fun to watch. To see, well, I don't know if I'd call it fun, but
yeah.
we're going to watch it and see how it plays out. And Bill, I know you're going to be watching it.
I got no
Yeah.
choice.
Yeah, and I hope most of it is on YouTube because for a lot of people they can't make it out to those meetings. So if
Oh,
not,
it's there.
yeah. Well, no, not the county commission. I'm talking going forward the
Planning
commission, I
think
Oh,
it should be on
absolutely.
and
YouTube.
hopefully this
Well, it was
this wastewater group.
it was
as
put into
well,
motion,
so,
wasn't it? Didn't
yeah.
Drew
Yeah,
Hooker ask?
yeah, Drew
Yeah.
certainly did, and
Yeah.
I think they agreed to it. And I think we're good
Yeah.
to go on that. And
Yeah.
on
So-
the other side, some of your little city meetings, I'd like to see. By the way, city councilman, I'd like to see them on YouTube.
We do.
9 o'clock in the morning. And
all the public meetings are on YouTube. So even
Good.
our beer board and
Good.
like BZA and they bought a little system so it can be run even without
That's
a
outstanding.
person being
Good
there.
stuff.
So yeah. Thursday morning, we had to have David and I talked about this last week. We had to have an emergency meeting of the Employee Benefits Committee because we found out at the very last second that the prices we were quoted for health insurance, they couldn't meet them and also provides the same coverage we had. So they came in, presented what the issue was. It's not their fault. It's the way the pharmaceutical industry has gone. You've got these drugs, they advertise them on TV. You look them up, they're $30,000 a month. That's why they can afford to advertise them on NFL football.
You're right.
Oh,
So,
yeah, absolutely.
So, and who has to cover that $30,000 a month? The insurance company. So the only way the insurance company makes money, they got to charge you a premium. So it's a vicious cycle. We got caught up in it. We have employees that are on brand name drugs. There wasn't any way around it. So,
glad they get taken care of because people like David Thomas need one of those drugs. Nobody's going to help us out, are they, David?
Yeah, myself.
yeah, yourself. Exactly. So
The best I can, you know.
So, but we had to take care of the city employees. So we went ahead and moved forward with it as it was at the new price. We still were getting a better insurance plan for the same amount of money. We thought we were getting a better
Right.
insurance plan, saving money. We got a better one and got it for the same amount of money. So we went forward with it. We passed that on to the city council meeting, which happened the exact same day, Thursday evening at 6:00. Didn't have a ton on that agenda. We did deny one rezoning off the bypass in Richdale Lane, trying to go to R3 up there.
Congratulations. Thank you.
I know. We said no.
Thank you.
We said no.
I'm with Diane. No.
Yeah. Yeah.
No,
the
no.
reason being, as single family homes, that area was okay. But if we allowed the R3, this developer would promise one thing, but if he gets hit by a truck next week and another developer comes
Just
in and
changes his
develops it,
mind.
or he changes his
Uh-huh.
mind, or he builds 2 houses, doesn't make any money, sells it to his buddy down the street.
Right.
The next guy could have come in there and put in a bunch of duplexes, and we didn't want that in that area, so we turned down the rezoning on that. We did approve $10,000 for the big Bedford County Christmas coming up on the square on December 5th. And we also approved a offer to the Chamber of Commerce of $5,000 for a membership for 2026. You might recall our last membership check. We sent.
They're
the
going to
check.
bring it back to you this
They
time?
brought it. Well, this time we're sending
You're-
a letter,
Okay.
a
all right.
letter saying we would like a membership. And then if they send us an invoice for $5,000, we'll pay it. If they don't send us an invoice, I guess they
Don't write the
Is
check
it
to
the
you.
Don't
chamber,
write the
is
check.
it the Chamber of Commerce or the partnership?
Chamber.
Chamber.
We're joining the Chamber of Commerce.
And they're separate
because
now.
They're not separate now. They're one and the same. However,
So you sent it to the partnership.
it'll be written out to the chamber, who is the representative of small business for the city, and we do support our small businesses. So that's the reasoning.
Boy, you hadn't
So,
been in politics long. You've learned Boboisms. That was very well said, my friend.
and then we also voted to move the December city council meeting. Don't show up on the normal date because there's some big to do up at MTSU at President McPhee's house or something for Christmas, and some people
We
wanted
can't
to go.
interfere with that.
No,
I-
I don't know.
Well, what's that got to do with Bedford Shelbyville?
That people got invited that wanted to go that are normally at the council meetings. So I don't think I'll be attending.
All
but
right,
there's
so we
others
got-
that do. So
We got Shelbyville City Council members that are being asked to go to MTSU.
yes, to the Christmas soiree.
Does
Now
that-
they're part of our community. Now they're building a big campus here. So yes,
Okay.
so
That's another topic. For
Yeah,
another
let's.
time.
We'll be here.
Another
We'll
day.
be here till my football games will be on. We'll be here so long we start
yeah.
talking about that.
So with that is all of the local city and county news that I had to
All right.
cover. Unless you want to hit a
Oh,
couple
there's-
more
there's a
comments. I
lot of
know. I'm sure
comments
there's
here.
comments. What you got? Dave?
Okay. Benji Burris comes in. He says they could have sought out an expert on step systems, contracted with that expert, and take his advice. Someone that does not have interest in building or selling in Bedford County. I'm the last person who wants to create another position, but when it comes to step systems, it's necessary. Maybe this committee does something like
Well,
that.
the hope is Consolidated is the company. Again, I hate to keep. That's what we were told.
Yeah, that they were the best. Yeah.
And if they're right up the road, why wouldn't you want to use them? And then we don't
Right.
use them. Because I'm pretty sure I was told Consolidated wouldn't have approved the one on Longview Road because of the situation.
And then, of course, Diane, there are a lot of people are thanking Diane for what she said.
I think her as
And
well.
then Steve Jordan says, Diane Peach Neely, I agree with everything you said. And then she responds back, I have a great deal of concern for my county that I love. I'm worried about what will be left for my children and grandchildren. So we got a lot of people out there conversing, and it's good to see the conversation. I would like to, this is Lamar Sanders Thompson. I would like to see a town hall meeting with all the candidates so the public could ask questions talking about the upcoming election. That would be a good idea.
Awesome. Yeah, I
Yeah.
would love that. We weren't able to, we pulled a partial one together in the city last time.
Yeah.
It was hard. It's hard to get everybody.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to, I don't know, be in the same
And
room
then
together. I'm not sure.
Steve Jordan is encouraging people, all constituents should call your commissioners and ask for a town hall meeting. I think election time comes, maybe that's something that happened like that.
Yeah, when is it's August, I believe, the main election for so it'd be nice to have something in the
Next-
summer.
next
I got a
August,
fun
yeah.
story for you guys.
All right.
You all remember when we were fighting over the Justice Center. This is probably my first term.
Yeah, this is a long
And
time
I
ago.
held multiple town hall meetings on the square.
Yeah.
And I got accused of violating the Sunshine Law.
For having a town
For having a
Oh.
town hall meeting on the square in my district.
a public meeting.
A
Yeah,
public
no,
meeting.
right out in the
I
sunshine.
think Commissioner Farrell was at one of them. That's what they're saying the violation was. Commissioner Farrell was there. Maybe Commissioner Heflin was there.
I got news for you, Bill.
And all we did is take questions
out
from
in the
the,
public.
in my
That
district.
is the absolute opposite of the sunshine law.
Yes, sir.
That's as much sunshine as you can get.
Yeah.
All right, so I encourage it.
Yes, town hall meetings are wonderful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So we're going to take a break, and we're going to come back and take a look at what's coming up next week.
Yeah.
Josh, it looks like you got a few things, not an enormous
Not a whole
amount,
lot. We're getting into the
but,
holidays.
let's
soon.
take a review of that after we come back from hearing from our sponsor. We'll be right back.
Get the results you want with the personalized service you deserve at Dennis Young Insurance Agency.
As a local independent agency, we offer coverage from several different companies, including Erie. So whether it's auto, home, life, personal, or business, we can find the right coverage to meet your unique insurance needs. And with a rate lock advantage, your rates won't go up as long as you do not change drivers, autos, or addresses. Contact us at Dennis Young Insurance Agency, insuring Shelbyville and surrounding areas since 1988.
All righty, welcome back into the weekend wrap-up show, the news that matters here on Shelbyville Now. And we appreciate everybody participating this morning. A lot of activity in our chat. And we've got some new folks that have come on board and didn't know we were here. And we've been here for a little while. But we encourage you to
Yeah.
please share our video and let people know that they can have some input here as we go over what happens every week.
Yeah.
The news that matters.
The news that matters. So
So next week, Josh, what is the news that's going to matter?
I don't think we're going to have a whole lot of news next week. Honestly, again, we're getting close to Thanksgiving. Things are kind of slowing down. I've got 3 events that I at least called out on my rundown here. Tuesday morning, it's a ribbon cutting. Everybody loves a good ribbon cutting. So TCAT, which has actually been open already this semester, they're finally having their official ribbon cutting. I'm sure everybody that's anybody will be there. They'll cut a ribbon. They'll have them big scissors. They'll take pictures. There'll be hors d'oeuvres. It's going to be exciting. So I'll be there Tuesday morning. Tuesday evening, county committee meetings. I believe Mr. Anderson will probably be at those. I think
Yep,
you guys
Rules
got
Committee.
rules committee. I went down all 3 agendas. I don't think I saw one item on any of the agendas as far as actual business. It was all just
It's the whole
reports.
business.
It's the holidays.
It's the holidays. It was all
It's
reports.
always slow like this.
Yeah.
Oh,
It'll-
always. Just
these will be
slow
like,
down.
Slows to a crawl. and-
yeah, it'll be like
right around
15-minute
December.
meeting, 15-minute meeting, 15-minute meeting. That's what happens in those when there's, yeah, it's literally all reports. There was no business item on any of the three committees. And then Friday evening, or actually it's late afternoon, early evening, another ribbon cutting. The Fly Arts Center is having a grand reopening. I think they redid their museum. Maybe they've also
Okay.
spent a lot of money on fixing up the inside the building. So they're having a big event. I'll be at that on Friday evening. And other than that, no other city or county.
So,
meetings
Josh,
this
you're cutting
week,
ribbons
so
this week.
I'll be in the background. I'm just there for the free food. I'm not
Oh,
gonna
all
lie.
right.
I'm just
You
I'll
want
be
to
at
say
work.
something?
Yeah,
You'll
I'll
be
be at
working at working.
Yeah, there's
Yeah,
someone
I
that's
will
got work.
too. Yeah.
He'll be working. Oh,
Can't go to all cut ribbons to get the coffee and the donuts.
yeah. Oh, and let's hit Benji's comment. Come on. Benji would like the city and the county to sit down and get together and have a conversation. I sure wish we would. So he even points out that the two of us here, we do. I mean, Bill and I, we talk all the time.
All the
So,
time.
yeah. And quite a few. I mean, I talk to a lot of the county commissioners, but it sure would be nice if the city and the county would come back together and sing Kumbaya and
I agree 100%
working together on some of these
because
things.
my district is 95% city
in the city.
in
Yeah.
the city.
In the
Yeah,
city.
These are my
exactly.
people.
Yeah, exactly.
It's the same people. If you're in the city,
Right.
you've got county commissioners. You've got
Absolutely.
two county commissioners. The
And
fact-
they're all on
course-
the same side.
yeah.
It all is festered because of lawsuits and
Yeah.
disagreements, and there's a history of this that goes back, and the saga continues. At some point, it's all got to be worked out because we're going to have to going forward look at helping one another because we're going to have some financial crunch coming, I think.
Oh yeah.
And there's going to have to be some consolidation of expenditures somewhere down the road, and that's going to take some cooperation between the city and county more than there exists now.
Oh,
So-
there's easy ones available right now that we've talked about in the past. And I've talked to people on both sides, like animal control. It is crazy that we have
Yeah,
two animal controls down the street from
I
each other.
tried that one.
Oh, I know.
I
But
tried.
yeah. And I mean, they're both in the city, but depending on where you're at when you make the phone call, one
Yeah,
group
I
goes to
agree.
one goes to the other. They take the animal to a different location.
And the
If
city,
they were
when I
consolidated
tried
and
that, the
working
city
together,
was all
yeah.
for it as long as we paid for it after 2 years and took all the. We were going to have to pay for all of it.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
Yeah, and
why
that's
do
not
that?
reasonable.
No,
But,
it's
but
unreasonable.
it seems like a no-brainer that the city and the county would have one animal control,
Absolutely.
split the costs. I'd put it at the jail where you could have the inmates help out with the animals as part of the MRT program.
Oh, we don't need them out there.
And
Yeah.
there's room out there. There's room out there. Plenty of room. So yeah.
All right, so there's
Yeah,
all
But it
kinds
would
of.
make sense. That's
Yeah,
why
it would
won't
make
happen.
sense. Yeah.
That's
And
why it
that-
won't happen.
yeah, that may be why it's
I
never
think
gonna
moving
happen,
forward,
but,
guys,
yeah.
there's going to have to be some pet projects and thoughts that we've had that we've compartmentalized and said, well, this is mine. People take ownership of stuff. We got to understand this is public. This is the taxpayers' dollars that we're talking about here. And you're going to have to get consolidated to save us, pinch every dollar you can going forward because we've got some economic issues coming. It's just coming. And it's not just us, it's everywhere.
Here's what's sad. And I'm not advocating a metro government, but let's say you did it. This ought to get
Let's
people
just
fired
say.
up. Let's just say,
Let's say
in
theoretically.
theory,
In
you would
theory.
do it conservatively and there would
Right.
be less employees and it would be more efficient.
Oh,
The
yeah.
reality is it'll be blown up the other way.
That's
You and I all know
exactly
it.
what
Possibly.
happened.
Yes, I guarantee it would.
Yes.
It would be more employees, more money, more taxes.
When the objective of of any government is to just hire more people, you're headed down the wrong path because it ends up being,
At the winner's circle, when
yeah,
your business isn't good, you're going to hire more people.
can't do it.
If you keep raising your price, what happens?
Lose business.
But in government, this is cool. I
Mm.
keep raising taxes. You've got to pay them. And it's just like raising your prices. Here we go. And
Yeah.
I hire more people.
Yeah. It's out of control.
It's out of control. Absolutely.
There's a lot of things that can be consolidated and
And I
it's gonna-
continue to say this, when your government grows by this faster than your industrial part of your economy, it's a problem.
I'm
And moving
appalled.
people here
Yeah.
and filling it up
Uh,
is not growing.
I think we should just build one great big roof. Everybody wants rooftops. So just put one big roof over Bedford County.
Well, my thing is rooftops are fine. I've heard a bunch of engagements with my friends about that. But listen to this: what type of rooftop is it?
Benji Burris. Oh,
Oh.
Benji.
Oh.
Turn the juvenile center into the dog pound.
That
I-
takes care of the
$1,200 a
animal
square foot.
control.
He's talking about the new one.
Yeah,
Okay. We could go there, but we could be here all day. So
Yeah,
we got to
we could.
wind things down so Bill can
Football,
watch
there's
football,
football to be watched.
Football.
and Josh
watch.
could get to his next event,
Yeah,
and
no-
I can
no
go to
events
work,
today,
and I can get
hope,
back to
so,
work.
yeah.
All right, guys, thanks so much for watching, and thanks so much for participating. It's been some spirited talk, and we appreciate it. That's what it's all about.
Yep.
Thanks for watching.